Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video we have another writing check. It's another writing task too, and we start as always by reading the question, making sure that we understand every little detail of this question. So let's have a look. Some species of animals, not all species, but some species of animals are almost extinct. Almost extinct. Not completely, but they are almost extinct. And many others, so some species of animals are almost extinct, and many others, sorry, I wanted to change the color. Many others seem to be fast approaching a similar risk. Similar fate. Okay, a similar risk. What are the reasons for this and what should be done to solve this problem? So, causes and solutions essay. Those of you who are familiar with my channel will know that I did a whole video on how to write these causes and solutions essays. Okay, let's just reread. So, some species of animals. Can we think of some examples? Maybe almost extinct. Mountain gorillas, I think they're almost extinct. Tigers, unfortunately, they're facing extinction too. Okay. I think there was some rhinoceros, species of rhinoceros that also recently went extinct. It seems strange wording, doesn't it? Some are almost extinct. Many others seem to be fast approaching a similar risk. Fast approaching, almost being extinct. Okay, but it doesn't matter. The problem is extinction of animals. So, what are the reasons for this? Why are some animals going extinct or almost extinct? Why is this happening on planet Earth in 2024? Why is this happening? Why are some animals almost extinct? There are almost none left. Why? And also, what should be done, not what do we do or not what has been done, but what should be done. So make some recommendations for solutions to solve the problem. So there is a problem. Why does this problem exist? What are the reasons why this problem exists? And also, what can we do or what should we do to solve this problem? So if we do what you tell us to do, maybe the problem will not exist. Okay, fairly straightforward. And one more thing to notice is reasons. Not is what is one reason why, but reasons. Reasons. So in terms of structure, in the introduction, I like to have some background information about the subject. Here, the subject is animal extinction. Then I want some reference to the question, the fact that this is a problem, and that, perhaps governments and environmentalists are trying to solve the problem, that they see it as a problem that should be solved. That could be included in your introduction. Also want to see a thesis statement, just something, in simple terms to say what you're going to talk about. Like in this essay, I will explore the various causes for this problem, and I will suggest solutions, or I will suggest recommendations that may help to solve this problem, or that may help to improve the situation, something like that. Then body paragraph 1, I want to see a few different reasons, maybe at least 2 reasons would be nice, 2 different reasons why some animals are going extinct or close to going extinct. And then in the body paragraph 2, I'd like to see a couple of solutions and explanations as to why these solutions might be effective. And then in the conclusion, I want a quick summary of the reasons and solutions, very short summary of those reasons and solutions. And I also think it's a good idea here to add some type of reflective comment. For me, the best reflective comment here is, if we don't act now, then, something bad will happen, but say what that bad thing is. That might be, for me, that seems like a reasonable way to conclude. But let's see what the candidate has. Oh, sorry, there is no writing. Just 1 second. Let me add that. Not quite right. Sorry about this. Just a moment. Small technical issue. Hopefully that's big enough. Okay, so let's see what the candidate has written here. No, I need to make that slightly bigger. Sorry about this. Okay, so nowadays, despite the fact that, okay, cool, the fact that, I think the fact that is great in speaking. I like despite technology having been improved, but okay, despite the fact that technology has been improved, oh, we're already explaining, we're starting with reasons why animals are going extinct. I don't know if that's the best way to start. Just by explaining these are the reasons why animals are going extinct. We want some background information about the subject. But anyway, let's read. Nowadays, despite the fact that technology has been improved, that's very vague. What technology has been improved? And like it suggests that technology is the main focus of the essay. It's a strange, if I say technology has been improved, you say, well, which technology? Why are you telling me? Global warming and pollution. So pollution is usually uncountable and singular, and pollution such as air and water pollution, types of pollution such as air and water pollution, affect natural environments. Okay. Okay, thus, several animal species are facing to be endangered. No, facing extinction, and that means to be in danger of, facing or are in danger of extinction. You can't say facing to be endangered or extinct. Facing something, facing extinction. So that's an odd choice there. There are several reasons why this situation happens. Yeah, you've already said air, water pollution, global warming. So it seems strange that you say like global warming and pollution, like air pollution and water pollution, has an effect on natural environments, and that's why a lot of animal species are dying. There are many reasons why this happens. You've already given the reasons, and so that has what I would say an illogical flow. This essay will explain possible reasons, and their solutions. Their solutions? Their talks about what here? Reasons? The solutions to the reasons? So their should refer to problem. But there's no immediate referent here. So the reference word there should point to the word problem. Now we do have this word situation. And there could point to situation. But for me, this is a slightly ambiguous pronoun or possessive adjective. Okay. Reference. Ambiguous reference. Not clear immediately. So the introduction is a little bit strange, but okay, it's just the introduction. Let's see how the candidate does now with the reasons. Can the candidate accurately explain a couple of reasons why animals are going extinct? Let's have a look. Usage of fossil fuels. The usage of is better here. The usage of. Very often with we have the of. The capital of Russia. The question of time or something. The usage of fossil fuels and some type of pollutants has been hurting natural environments. So it seems strange to use this has been hurting without any reference. So, when we use this present perfect continuous, very often it's about how long, right? So has been hurting natural environments for decades, for centuries, for millennia, something like this, without any time adverbial or without any other adverb or without a previous, context building sentence. It's strange to see present perfect continuous. Why not just the use of fossil fuels and pollutants hurt natural environments in general? I don't see the reason for has been hurting here. Good range, but just not appropriately used. For instance, good signposting language. For instance, farmers prefer to use a type of chemical called DDT. No, they don't. I think that's illegal in most countries now, right? They used to use it. I think in the 60s or 70s, they had these like big aeroplanes that sprayed this chemical of DDT. Then world governments realized that, oh, actually DDT is pretty bad. Let's ban it. Let's not use it anymore. So it's just factually inaccurate to say that farmers prefer to use DDT. I think in most countries now, DDT isn't used. So be careful with the factual information if you're not sure about it. You don't need to have a specialist knowledge of pesticides. Okay. When we need the comma, which has a tendency to be accumulated. Why passive? Has a tendency to accumulate, I think you mean, not to be accumulated. So an attempt at the passive, but there's no reason for it to be passive here. So accumulate is can. Do I want to talk about transitivity and intrans? No, I don't. It should be active. Tendency to accumulate in the waters and. Okay. A type of chemical called DDT, comma, should be, which has a tendency to accumulate in the waters and soils. Maybe comma here, and then effects relates to DDT. But without the commas, this becomes really strange. Called DDT, which has a tendency to accumulate in the waters and soil, affects. We need a second which too. A type of chemical called DDT, comma, which has a tendency to be accumulated in the water and soils, comma, and affects, maybe something like that. So there's just strange linking here. And that's a classic problem with cohesion and coherence. Affects seabirds negatively. Okay, do we mean affects them negatively as in causes them to go extinct? Because there's a huge difference between affecting something negatively and causing something to go extinct. Saying that it affects something negatively isn't enough. It doesn't hit this question of extinction. Therefore, good signposting language. Therefore, several seabirds have been dying since DDT has been consumed. When it comes to data related to, I like this related to, nice reduced passive relative clause. When it comes to data related to the number of dead birds and other animals, these type of animals is numbers. These types of animals is numbers have been decreasing sharply. Again, I want some time reference for this present perfect continuous. I don't know. Maybe, since DDT, since the days of DDT, perhaps. Another reason, perhaps? One more reason? Another reason is that another reason for what? It's not mentioned here. Another reason. Another reason for what? For what? Now, you might say it's obvious for the extinction of animals, but it isn't obvious from the writing. We have to make it more obvious. Another reason is that numerous forests and jungles are gone. It seems a little bit informal. They are gone. have disappeared, maybe is more formal, are gone is a bit informal, have disappeared due to the fact that global warming leads to many forest fires. That's not the reason why most of our forests are disappearing. Forest fires are a problem. The biggest reason why these forests are disappearing is because people cut them down for wood or to make space for other animals, not due to forest fires. That's a minor point, but okay. I'm not here to argue with your opinion. You might be right. As a result, deforestation has been rising. Well, that's tautology, right? Forests and jungles are gone. As a result of forests and jungles being gone, we have no forests and jungles. Deforestation is forests and jungles are gone. Yeah, this is such a weak point. You have to explain, and the way that you explain this is that this is the home for, this is the place where these animals live, and without a stable environment in which they can live, it can be difficult for them to find food, and that's why they die. So you have to explain why deforestation leads to animal extinction. So overall, body paragraph, I can't say I'm fully informed. And even the things that I'm fully informed on, the candidate has just got it a bit wrong, right? Candidate is saying we use DDT and therefore a lot of animals are dying out. Second reason is that the forests get cut, or the forests burn, and that's why we have no animals, but without an explanation. So I'm minimally informed of the candidate's explanation for the reasons. Minimally informed. But I am informed, but minimally. So let's move on to solutions now. In order to preserve these problems, why would you want to preserve the problem? Preserve means to keep something, to make sure that something lasts for a long time. In order to preserve these problems, solve, fix, repair, improve, eradicate. In order to preserve these problems, governments and societies have to implement vital solutions. It's empty. We know they have to find solutions. I'm looking for a topic sentence here. One way to solve this problem is to or governments can fix this problem by right? I want that as the topic sentence, not governments and societies have to implement vital solutions. Start the paragraph by talking about one of those solutions. We are wasting a sentence here. And that first sentence, it's called the topic sentence. That first sentence of a paragraph is so key. Topic sentences don't always have to be the first one, but in 80% of cases they are. For example, we must reduce. It's a little bit personal. Academic writing tends to be more impersonal. We have this personal pronoun we. For example, we must reduce our overall carbon, whose, my, your, his, her. We must reduce our overall carbon footprint. Okay, footprints maybe. One word should be, but okay. Footprints to decline. Don't know if you can decline something. Reduce maybe. To reduce bad impact. So, okay, when candidates start using bad in academic writing, I feel like, lexical resources a little bit lacking. Not a very wide range. Bad impacts of global warming. Okay, let's just read this again. For example, we must reduce overall carbon footprints to decline bad impacts of global warming on jungles and forests. Okay, how will this help? Although governments have some, just a bit of a strange sentence. Although governments, so this is good with although. Although governments have planned some precautions. Game is very vague. There's no details. Oh, they've planned some precautions. Well, okay, civil communities and individuals should be knowledgeable about the environment environments that animals live in. Agree. This is good. Individuals not only should use non-pollutant products, but also should maybe just use travel. Also should travel, should use electric cars. Yeah, this is quickly becoming a headache essay where I just have to reread. And individuals not only should use non-pollutant products, but also should prefer to travel electrical cars to reduce carbon dioxide levels throughout the atmosphere. In addition to that, governments have to investigate industrial sites in terms of usage of chemical pollutants. Okay, so there are a few suggestions here, right? The candidate says, first, we need to reduce our overall carbon footprint. Candidate doesn't say how. Then the candidate says we have to switch to electric cars, and that would reduce our carbon dioxide levels. Okay. And then we get the second solution, which is that governments need to investigate industrial sites in terms of usage of chemical pollutants. But the candidate doesn't explain how this will help at all. So again, minimally informed for body paragraph 2. Kind of get two solutions. They are kind of clear, but they are poorly developed and not very well explained. In conclusion, good signposting language. We, again, feels a little bit personal. We have to act immediately. Sure, this is a nice reflective comment, but leave that for the end. We want to summarize your main ideas first. We have to act immediately to preserve animals' lives. Otherwise, some animal might not some. Where is our verb here? Okay, we have might as our modal verb, but we need another verb after might. Might not be. There might not be some animal species. And then we get some parentheses. I'm not a big fan of these brackets in academic writing. If it's important, include it without the parentheses. If it's not important, and that's why you're putting it in parentheses, then don't include the information. The polar bears, the elephants, the whales in the world. Humanity should reduce global warming effects and excessive haunting. Maybe you mean hunting? But this is a new idea. Reducing excessive hunting. That's a new idea. We don't introduce new ideas in the conclusion. If you think hunting is one reason why so many animals face extinction, put it in body paragraph 1. That's the place where you introduce the ideas, the reasons why animals are going extinct. And if your solution is that we should reduce hunting, then put that in body paragraph 2. Not in the conclusion. And also hunting, not haunting. Haunting is where ghosts follow you. You know, where ghosts live in your home and they go, ooh, that's haunting. Because we are not going to maintain our lives without animals. Okay, that's what you say, but that's another argument, right? But it's undeveloped. So you're introducing new arguments here. And I don't really see a summary of the main points that you've had, unfortunately. So in terms of task response, I can give a maximum of 5 for this. I think maybe even 4, just because I don't feel like the introduction. No, I'm minimally informed. But okay, I'll be generous and give 5. I'm minimally informed. Coherence and cohesion, I'm going to give 5 for this too. So good paragraph structure. We have our 4 paragraphs. There's an attempt at an introduction, body 1, body 2, conclusion. So nice attempt at that. The problem is there are lots of incoherent and unclear like references, like their solutions and other reason is that numerous, and say, what other reason? Coherence breaks down a little bit where you have the relative clause here, which, a type of chemical called DDT, which has a tendency to be accumulated in the waters, and soils affect seabirds negatively. It's like, whoa, that the coherence is lost. A few cases where I just had to reread some of the ideas to try to get an idea. There's also this problem with the flow. It's an illogical ordering of ideas there. These are the reasons why animals are going extinct. In this essay, I'll talk about the several reasons why the situation happens, but you've already mentioned them. So that's a problem with the logical flow. Lexical resource. I feel probably a 5, or maybe enough for a 6, actually. So some strange things like travel electrical cars, like electric cars, not electrical. And also we should have that preposition in, so candidate doesn't know that preposition. Mixes up decline and reduces. That's not a massive problem, but does use reduce correctly here. Overall carbon footprint, an attempt at some topic specific language. Preserve these problems, that's just not the right word. It's actually the opposite word that we want. Some language is a bit informal, like argon, plural form of soils, but we get accumulate, natural environment, pollutant yeah, maybe enough. I think 6 is fair. So candidate does have a wide range of vocabulary to deal with the subject. However, there's a noticeable lack of style and collocation and a lot of inappropriate word uses which kind of are a bit strange. Grammatical range and accuracy, not too many mistakes. A few mistakes with articles, a few mistakes with like using passive where the candidate shouldn't be using passive. There are attempts at using present perfect continuous, but not really with success. So the candidate is something of a risk taker with grammar, so the candidate does try to get a wider variety of structures, but unfortunately in that search for the wider variety of structures, the accuracy breaks down a little bit. No massively critical mistakes, apart from maybe this might not some animal species, which is, I would expect candidates to know that we need a verb after might. That's a very basic bit of English grammar. All modal verbs are followed by other verbs, unless it's part of a short answer, but okay. Yeah, so I think grammatical range and accuracy 6. Only one critical low-level mistake. Is there? Can I really say this into? I want to look at the grammar again. I'm very sorry about that. Despite the fact that cool are facing cool present continuous, so we get simple, we get continuous. Why this situation happens, embedded sentence, nice, embedded question, prefer to use, cool, nice use of infinitive, when it comes to data, cool, uses the fact that again to link things, nice. Cool. All right. So I think yeah, there probably is enough range in there for the 6. So overall, this leads to 5.5, which is the lower end of upper intermediate. I think that's probably fair. Low, upper intermediate. So what advice would I give the candidate? Well, academic style, unfortunately, the candidate doesn't really, it appears as though the candidate doesn't really know how academic writing works. What is it to make an argument? What is it to support and explain an argument? How can we be paranoid about the information that we have, that there's not like ambiguous language there, that I've explained everything, that a target reader won't read it and say, "Ooh, what do you mean here? Explain your point better. Why should I care about this point?" Picking overly specific things like DDT, which, you obviously don't know a lot about DDT, and that's fine. You don't need to know a lot about DDT. But when you choose something so specific, it just makes it strange. So try to simplify ideas, keep them as simple as possible, right? If I was doing this essay, why are animals going extinct? I would mention, we're cutting down the forests, and people, animals live in those forests. Cool. And number two, I probably would mention global warming too. Maybe something about, you know, um, rising temperatures, maybe about sea life, or something like this. But yeah, ideas have to be simpler. Um, and I just think, yeah, there are critical things about essay writing, like what we put in an introduction and what we put in a conclusion. It seems that you lack those academic skills. In terms of actual language use, your lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy are pretty good. I think you probably are a solid B2 user of English. In general, a solid B2 user of English. It's just that your academic writing skills, not English skills, but your academic writing skills in general, are pulling your score down from being, a solid B2 user to being a low B2 user. But yeah, that's my analysis of this candidate's writing. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of this candidate's IELTS writing essay. If you have any comments, then feel free to let me know why I'm wrong. Some people have corrected me, and they have correctly corrected me before, so I appreciate this. I mentioned something, I misread something and said it was a mistake when it wasn't a mistake. So sometimes it happens. But if you would like me to check your IELTS writing, or if you would like a free practice speaking test with feedback, then you can join the Telegram group. The Telegram group is given here, t.me/expert-examiner. A link to the Telegram group is also in the description. Also, I'm using a green screen at the moment, so some of the colouring on my face looks a bit strange, but don't worry, I'm trying to fix this. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Have a wonderful evening and see you all very soon. Bye bye.